I have the heater attached to the mounting plate, which is in turn attached to this plywood base. The points of those lag screws come through just a little bit, so when I'm all done here, I'm going to go ahead and use my angle grinder to grind those sharp points off. I don't want to get stuck. I don't want other people to get stuck. That's one way to really get some problems going on. I'll mark the holes. I'm setting these brackets up so that they're parallel to the sides and they stick out just a little bit on this edge. Yeah, I use my coat to carry things. It's not really cold out, so I really don't need it. So I'm going to go ahead and take it off. Besides, I have everything that I needed to carry out here. Now drill the pilot holes. Same way that I did before. I have to be careful with this hole that I'm drilling closest to the heater because I don't want to accidentally hit any wires. Now these screws won't go through like the other ones did because this bracket is thicker. Boy, that's tight. That's just what I wanted. Repeat on the other side. Now I don't want to accidentally drop these screws in the ground because they go right into tires. I don't need any screws or nails in any tires. Well, this is ready to go on the wall. It's lunchtime. I'm going to go drag Irene out of the studio because she's been down there working. We'll get some lunch and then I'll come back and see if I can finish this off. Perfect. Sit down.
I'll sit down. How's that?
That's good. Well, Irene and I finished lunch. She's going to take a couple minutes to help me take a few things over to the greenhouse so I can get this heater temporarily installed so I can try a few things out. So, I think we'll get going.
Yep. Okay, what do you want me to carry?
If you will take the drill and the driver.
Do we need other fittings, or is this going to do it all?
This'll do for right now.
Okay.
Because I'll have to come back and grab a bunch of fittings to put things together.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and hold the.
I'll go and check the camera.
I'll go ahead and hold the heater up, and
Okay.
let's make sure that the drill's going to go through the holes.
Okay.
Yes, it does. Okay, if you'll come and drill the holes at the top.
Is this actually turned on now? Yeah, it is. Okay.
If you'll come and drill the holes at the top,
Okay.
and actually as many as you can.
And is there a big concern with it being perfectly level?
No, there's not an issue.
Okay. And this is not going to be completely level because I've got the I'm concerned about doing any more because it's slipping around over there now.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I'm going to go grab some 1/4-20 bolts and put it together.
Okay. If you need any more help, let me know. I'll be working in the house, and I will be uninterruptible for probably
Half hour?
probably less than that because I have to do the next mold.
Don't turn it off yet,
Okay.
because I don't want to lose the audio.
Okay. Woo woo woo.
It's getting hot in here. It's time to turn the fan back on. Irene unplugged it when we were doing the original work because it's too loud. You wouldn't be able to hear what we were talking about. Well, I think this is about as far as I'm going to get this afternoon. I'm going to go back and look at that diesel tank and figure out how I'm going to put the connection to it because there's no installed connection. Well, such things happen.
The heater and air conduit and other components should not be trampled, covered, and pressed, or it will injure the personnel, burn the inflammables, or damage the heater.
Irene and I spent hours reading through that silly little manual, trying to figure out how I was going to put this attachment into this plastic fuel bottle. There's no holes in this tank, none whatsoever. So I have to figure out how to put a bulkhead fitting in through here and make it come out the bottom. Irene and I spent a lot of time looking this up in the manual.
So don't trample it, cover it, or press it.
Doesn't say anything. Of course, then we may also not have exactly the same model that they wrote the manual for. The fitting consists of an insert that has threads on it. Those threads aren't to screw into the plastic. They're to hold a nut that will have an O-ring on it. So I have to figure out how to get that in there. Well, I'll show you how I'm going to do that, or at least how I'm going to try. Well, these O-rings are a relatively tight fit on that bulkhead fitting. I've gone through all the drills that I have in the drill index. That's a storage unit that has a bunch of different size drills in it. And I found one that is just about the diameter of those threads. Now, it's really important that this fit be as close as possible because there's some small O-rings that are used to seal the hole. That way you won't have diesel leaking. This is always the nerve-wracking part of doing these kinds of installs. You want to make sure that you're getting it put together right, because if you make a mistake, you may create a lot of problems for yourself. I'm checking that drill bit to make sure that it isn't off-center or bent. Oh, there's a hole. Let's see if I can fish this fitting through the tank. I have a piece of stainless steel welding wire. This is about a 36-inch long piece. It's a standard in the welding industry. Irene uses this for various purposes in her business. I have an idea. Let's go from the other side. That's so much easier. I almost forgot I need to put an O-ring on this side of the bulkhead fitting. I'll make sure it's seated properly. It's not going to come off when it's going down through here because it's a press fit over those threads. And there the fitting. I finally got that fitting through the side of this tank. I'm going to go ahead and put the outside O-ring and washer on. You don't have to mash these O-rings down terribly far. You do want to compress them enough so they make a good seal. And that looks good. Now remember, we have an O-ring on the inside and an O-ring on the outside of this tank. I'm going to be mounting this tank outside. I'm going to mount the tank right here. It's high, but I'm going to be replacing this with a different tank later. Pretty soon, actually. I'll get a ratchet and socket and tighten those screws up so that this holds all the way up there. And you may have noticed right before I broke that I dropped a screw. So I'm going to be spending some time searching in the grass for it.